Another big story we are following for you tonight. Yesterday's confession from former Governor Frank Murkowski's chief of staff may push lawmakers to strengthen state laws instead of just letting federal laws do all the work. Jim Clark pled guilty yesterday in a federal court for fraud. And as CBS 11's Steve O'Brien tells us, it may be enough to speed up the process for campaign contribution reform here in Alaska. Steve.
Reagan, yesterday, Jim Clark admitted to secretly requesting more than $68,000 from VICO for polls to help with Governor Murkowski's bid for re-election. For that, Clark pled guilty. Tonight, we hear from former Lieutenant Governor Lauren Lehman, an Alaska lawmaker, as they tell us how they feel and how Alaskans can still trust our government. From 2002 until 2006, Governor Murkowski ran our state with Lieutenant Governor Lauren Lehman at his side. The former Lieutenant Governor says he was very sad to find out Chief of Staff Jim Clark was guilty of a federal crime. But he's grateful Clark is owning up to it.
And he's saying, hey, I want to get this behind me. I'm going to pay for what I did. I want to be accountable. And I'll take him at his word.
During Murkowski's 4 years, violations of campaign finance laws could only be investigated by APOC after 1 year. So on a state level, Clark was safe until federal prosecutors stepped in. And that's exactly what lawmakers in Juneau are trying to change. Representative Bob Lynn has introduced a bill to give state agencies like APOC 5 years to prosecute. And the whole point of House Bill 281 is to build the foundation of trust.
People have to be able to trust the folks that they elect, and to do that, we need to be held accountable. It's a good bill. It's a bill whose time has come.
After federal corruption trials dealing with Vic Coring, Bruce Wyrock, Pete Cott, and Tom Anderson, state leaders say Alaskans need to have faith in government.
I think it's a reminder that there is a consequence to our actions, and people need to be reminded of that, not just in government, but for everybody.
And in order to secure that trust, lawmakers are saying House Bill 281 needs to be passed before session ends in mid-April. House Bill 281 still has a couple of other steps to climb before being passed. As of right now, it's moved to the House Judiciary Committee. Then it has to go to the Finance Committee before appearing on the House floor. Lastly, the Senate needs to make its final stamp of approval. Reagan?
Well, Steve, we heard from former Lieutenant Governor Lauren Lehman in your story tonight. Was he aware all of this was going on essentially right across the hall?
Well, Lehman says he obviously worked closely with the former governor and chief of staff, but not to the point where he knew every move. He also says he didn't always agree with the decisions his administration made, saying there were at least 3 things that happened during that time that had a huge effect on how Alaskans viewed them. Reagan?
All right, Steve O'Brien live for us tonight.